All right, folks, welcome to our broadcast. Happy to have you guys here with us this evening. You know, we're all this week long, and next week we're in the National Assembly, folks. And tonight is no different. Tonight is no different. We're on the sidelines of the National Assembly, and happy to have all of you folks here with us. As I'm on even now, our colleague, Ms. Natasha Singh Lewis, she is on the floor of the National Assembly making her very, very cogent arguments. Do let us know if you're hearing us. Rishi, I see you first on the live tonight. Richie, Ramla Khan, good to see you, Rishi. Ramla Khan, good to have you on the live, and all the other folks joining us. Anthony Hunter is here with us as well, and Winnell, and the whole gang is joining us. Look how many of you pouring in now. Karen Clark and Ivor Miller. Ivor, how are you doing? All the way out there in Atlanta. Say hello to the missus for me, Ivor. And just for the missus tonight, I'm going to ring this bell. Ivor, as an inside story. Just for the missus, I'm going to ring that bell. But good to have all of you guys with us yet another evening. It's a privilege to be here with you. Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Please and thanks, Pinky Kerr and Claire and Utindi and Sharon and Auntie Sandra. Good to have all of you here with us, folks. Folks, we just had blackout at the National Assembly. We just had blackout here. True story. We just had blackout here. So we're making the best of it. Just in case the power comes back and they shift from generators back to the grid, we might have some disruptions at this end. Bear with us. We're going to come right back, just in case. Right? I got Andrew here with me. The rest of the MPs are in the well of the National Assembly. They're in the dome. But just in case, you all bear with us. I'm giving you all due notice. I see Donna Pearson says she's watching from Chicago. Good to have you here with us, Donna, and all the other folks joining us tonight. That makes it worthwhile for us. Good night to all of you. Pinky Kerr says loud and clear. Thank you so much, Pinky. And I see Brenda's there, and Gail, and who me? You know, I'm hearing my colleague Natasha Singh Lewis in the background making our argumentations. Folks, we're happy to have all of you here with us. As I prevail on you, share that live for us. Smash that emoji button as well, folks. We're going to try to make sure we are shared to all the credible and valid places as well. Those of you joining us on the red app, you're joining us on the blue app. Thanks for joining us, folks. And we had quite a day here, and we're gonna start with that. For the opener, we're gonna start with that. Good to have had so many of my colleagues presenting, and I wouldn't say, you know, we're all 100%, but we keep, you know, if I fall down here, a colleague makes up for me when they follow. So in that regard, but largely, you all know the truth. We've had some great presentations of breadth and depth. We've had some good presentations. But these folks on the other side, my Lord, these folks on the other side, these folks, I know Andrew agreed with me. These folks on the other side, my Lord, gosh. You all heard what the worst they said? Sonia Parag, you see, Andrew know the thing. Andrew know the thing. Sonia Parag, she's a whole minister, you know. Not half, a whole minister. And what madness we heard there, folks. Like, what the hell? You know, what the hell? It's so terrible. You got to go up an octave. What the hell? Lynette Cox, good to have you, Lynette, and Phil, Vesta, and I'm an old musician, you know. I know my keys, I know my note, you know, I know my cards. Glenn, the PP out of timing, out of tune right now. Right, Everil, Eula Lafferman, good to have you there. I know Eula is one. He remember that other name there. Rubens, good to have you here with us tonight. Diane gives and I don't forget nothing. I got memory like elephant. Right? I get memory like elephant. Memory, you know? That's why I saw one of them, a little chihuahua, like Bagundin. He running out now talking all kinds of things about our honorable MPs. And just the other day, I saw a lot of young women start coming forward saying, you know, they believe they were drugged, and some of them were more in the affirmative, being drugged and raped by this fella. And when they started coming out like that, I see the man drift back. You know? Back in the day, you go by a family in the country for a couple of years, till about 75, and then you come. No, he come out back right away. He went down for 2 months. Now he come back ridiculed. Paul, I know you drive the bus and he in park. Drive over 3 times in park. Metaphorically, of course. Metaphorically, of course. I see the man talking a whole host of things. Another one talking, he knows since he talks, somebody suing, gets $7 million. He did talk a whole host of things about a particular teacher. Right? Whole love triangle business. The man sue $7 million. Plus had the girl. But that's another story. Folks, you see, I don't like go down this thing, you know. There's one Melissa Atwell. I ain't want to go down the line. You know, because I ain't want to put Melissa out of business. I ain't want to go down the line. Edward, Shawnette. And I'm in the precincts of the National Assembly. Let me conduct myself a little bit like I'm somebody. Natasha Singh Lewis is on, folks. So let us begin. Let us begin. You all know it is the season. Don't let me fool myself. This is the season we're in, and that's why you're seeing all this hanky-panky story. And a lot of young people are going to get called, right? Going to get a little money. Kyron and Big Boy Icon. What kind of fancy names is this, man? Big Boy Icon says, or Big Boy Icon, my God, is one name, you know. Oh, sorry, forgive me. Big Boy Icon says blackout in West Andrew and North Rheinveld. But blackout here in this is Turkine. Lillian Dahl, blackout here too. So it's probably Region 4. Where else got blackout? Right? Where else got blackout? Here Marlon telling me here this. Marlon says, Sharon, look, hold on. I'm going to give you the full code. Some of you I would never tell me. I'm thankful for people like Marlon, because if you're feeling too good, Marlon lift your old spirits here now. Marlon says, Sharon, you look really sexy. Wink, wink. Wink, wink. Pull it back one time for Marlon. Plus, I can ring the bell. Plus, you're ringing the bell for Marlon. We ring the bell for who we want to ring it for. Folks, forgive us. We told you all stuff would happen. Forgive us. Forgive us and forgive we. Forgive us, folks. But we're right here. Don't go anyplace. Forgive us, folks. We're right here. Give us a quick set. You see, I get confused there. I got confused there. Marlon just said one word, you know. And you all say, I don't get confused. Forgive us for a quick second. Forgive us, folks. Marlon said one thing. Right? Marlon just said one thing, and I confused already. Marlon, stop it. Folks, that might happen a couple times. We on something here. We on something here, but we have made things for it. We've made plans and provisions. But let's get on with it. Let's get on with it while we have the money. We're in an election year, folks, and so lots of what we're hearing here at the National Assembly is geared towards that. Is election budget. We are joining from. Is election budget. That's what we know. Carlisle Madu, Ralph Fredericks. Folks, y'all just roll with us tonight. If we're going wrong a turn, y'all lean into the turn with us. Right? You got blackout and we need it. Bap, bap. Move with us tonight. Carmen and Roxanne, good to have all of you folks on the live. Good to have all of you guys with us. So it's election year. We're in this budget period where we're debating and we're also interrogating from Friday the estimates. The different ministries are going to come before the National Assembly and they're going to tell us what they're spending all this money on. Because the last 4 years have been rather the last 4 years, thank you, Marlene, you're still here in my head. The last 4 years have been, y'all know how it has been. We've been in this together. Rami and Reggie, Andrew and Venus, Claire, we've been in it together. So this budget is upon us and we're wading through that, good folks. We've been hearing some very, very cogent and compelling arguments from the members of the parliamentary opposition, the joint opposition parties here in the National Assembly, making the arguments. And if Sonia is what the PPP produces, the honorable member, Sonia Parag, if she is who the government after 4 years is producing incoherent, very yard foul-esque, and I'm trying to be kind to her, very yard foul-esque, my God. But here's our colleague, Amanza Walton Desir. And you all know she can mambo. You get her on her feet. She can mambo, folks. She can mambo. If you hear things, Kwame, heckling when Amanza is speaking, you know, I saw Amanza then tumbly upside. Auntie Hazel says, blackout in the whole tongue, true story. The power ship. The power something empowering. My God, it is just not powering, folks. It's not powering. So we're following our sister Amanza Walton is here in the well of the National Assembly, made, as I said, some very cogent arguments as pertaining to our international affair, the border controversy we had, and the silence of CARICOM. With CARICOM, there's only sometimes meals run out. It's only sometimes that the catfish curry stop going in the private planes on the weekends. What happened to Ralph? Ralph gave brown bag, a couple houses and so on, and he gone too. Oh my Lord, the voice, the choir is deafening, the chorus is deafening. Take a look, folks, take a listen. So what the man just said.
Once the first line of diplomatic defense of Guyana is now silent in the face of Venezuelan aggression against Guyana. Member of Parliament Amanza Walton this year told the National Assembly that the silence of CARICOM is deafening.
It is disappointing. It is dangerous. It sends the wrong signal, not only to Venezuela, but to the world, that aggression could be met with apathy.
Two CARICOM members had facilitated what has become known as the Argyle Declaration. It was a meeting between Guyana and Venezuela. Guyana was advised not to attend, but it did. And she was certain that Guyana would hear from the CARICOM leaders at election time.
But they appear muted now in the face of Venezuela's ongoing aggression. Mr. Speaker, I want to be clear. CARICOM's inaction undermines its credibility and it fails to uphold its collective commitment, Mr. Speaker, to upholding the sovereignty of its member states. The Essequibo is not just a Guyanese issue, it's a CARICOM issue.
Ms. Walton this year also addressed Guyana's diplomatic representation.
Key to our foreign policy thrust is our diplomatic representation overseas. The honorable member should have been able to tell this House how he and his government will ensure that Guyana is represented by a professional cadre of diplomats. He should have been able to tell this House what plans are in place to appoint younger career diplomats in our embassies in Brasilia, Caracas, Paramaribo, Mr. Speaker, and Washington.
She said that Guyana must ensure that it has a plan to ensure continuity.
Guyana remains seriously underrepresented in Africa, with one diplomatic mission in South Africa. Mr. Speaker, by comparison, Venezuela has 20. By comparison, Mr. Speaker, I heard the ministers boast, Mr. Speaker, that this year Guyana will be hosting a retreat of the African group. Well, I expect that for this $10 billion that we're giving him this year, that we will have an announcement of cooperation agreements, that we will hear about the establishment of more embassies and missions in Africa.
The government must be honest about the many Nigerian students who have a difficult time in getting visas when they arrive in Guyana. She said that the government also refuses to renew the work permits of people from Africa.
Minister Todd must tell us how much of this $10 billion he has put into the Foreign Services Institute, Mr. Speaker, and I apologize to the people of Guyana that I have to shout, but my colleague on the other side has descended this August house into a fish market.
Welcome back. So they've now abandoned us. They have now abandoned us. Effectively, folks, we have been abandoned. We have been abandoned effectively. Like I can't do too long without a little song. You know. I went to school in the age of the boom boom, boom patum. You know, the bus rocking like that. Yeah, I understand it. Don't even bother. Yep, Annandale got blackout as well, just being told. Annandale got blackout. So much 2 power ships, you know. You got to bring a third and a fourth. we got to get plugged in from every angle. Right? Plug in from every angle. Blackout. Annandale is way up the east coast. And if you're all telling me East Bank, Central Georgetown got blackout, what is it? And we're discussing the budget, and the people said, re-elect us. We've done well. How do you solve a problem like Jagdeo? How do you solve a problem like Irfan? Irfan, you gotta go, man. And folks, you see now in this blackout, oh, the shame, you know. The shame being told all kind of promises. All kind of promises, you know. I wasn't gonna go here so early, but here our brother Ganesh Mahipal talk about the many things that have not been achieved. So we know power is one. They ain't too hot with power at all. No. And this is why the finance minister. Well, let me be more accurate. Ashley Singh, short man. You know, when Ashley National, you don't know if he's stand up or he's sitting down. But more, besides that, he now said they're doing so well with power generation. They're now taking VAT off of generators. This is why. He saw this coming. He saw it coming. So you could go and buy a generator now so you don't have to endure the blackouts. So that you don't. Here another colleague of mine, Ganesh Mahipal. Ganesh had a fantastic presentation. I don't just give kudos for the sake of kudos. You see? And I've been in the English language a little bit. I understand how you put ideas together, how you construct these things to make your arguments even more persuasive. Ganesh had a master class of a presentation. Here he's talking about some of the other things that have not been achieved. Some of the other under this installed regime. Ganesh, take a look.
Mr. Speaker, last year I did not speak in depth on the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, primarily because it was only fair to give Honorable Sonia Parag the chance to prove her worth. Unlike my friends on this side of the House, I had to ensure that I fulfill that promise, because we will keep our promises. And today, 1 year after Comrade Speaker, 1 year after, I believe Honorable Sonia Parag deserves an A grade. I honestly do believe that she deserves an A grade, sir, for being the most incompetent minister in the history of ministers at the ministry. From my research, sir, even previous PPPC ministers were achieving their targets, except for the immediate past one. No target that was set by this ministry was achieved under Honorable Sonia Parag. The local government sector strategy, not achieved. The completion of a sanitation sector plan, not achieved. Establishment of the monitoring and evaluation framework, not achieved. Completion of the ministry's strategic plan, not achieved. Completion of the regional strategic plans, not achieved. Training staff in specific areas targeting 760 staff, not achieved. And as per their manifesto promise, substantially increasing the subvention to NDCs and tongues, not achieved. Mr. Speaker, we left in 2020 with the subvention for NDCs and municipalities at $5 million and $18 million respectively, and the city of Georgetown $30 million. In addition to the Georgetown Restoration Program, which saw a clean, green Georgetown restored to the Garden City. Today, in 2025, there is no increase in those subventions, and Georgetown is back to being the garbage city. The target of a clean city and modern municipalities and NDCs are not achieved, and these are among every other target that they were all not achieved.
Folks, Ganesh know the whole thing. Top to bottom. Ganesh know the whole thing. Top to bottom. I told you, compelling, cogent argument, substantive. I'm going to post his entire presentation if it has not been posted already. Ganesh had a masterclass of a presentation. Every word, every line. As Andrew's saying here, beat and teach. You know who's Andrew? Shucks. Beat and teach. Line. I'll give you some more. Folks, let's hasten on, because if they bring back power and they switch over here and the backfire and the backbiting and the backstabbing and so on, we're going to be thrown into confusion. So let's move on, and we are going to come back to it. Marilyn, what happened by your White House, girl? One step forward, two step backward for Trump. One step forward, two step backward for Trump. What's going on? What's going on? You freeze the federal funds and then you go and freeze it. What kind of knee-jerk thing is this? You know, Irfan really trained under them. Irfan really trained under them. Irfan said instantaneously, but only in this country, instantaneously take a long time. Instantaneously became instantaneously on October 10th, became November month 10, before Christmas, after Christmas, or in the new year. Then I said, no, by the end of the first quarter, by the time they bring this 100,000, I owe the shopman, I owe the Spanish girls, I owe the baker. By the time they bring this 100,000, this is madness. Knee-jerk reaction. Trump said, freeze. 1, 2, 3, red light. Hours later, Trump got to come back now. They said the whole of the federal government sending a tailspin. Tailspin. You know, lit up. This is like when Irfan was first announced as presidential candidate. I never see people rebel like this. If you see names Irfan can call, Then spare Aria. I surprised some of them and said, no, Aria young. Y'all didn't know that. Y'all didn't know it before. So they had to come back now. They said thousands of agency accounts were closed pending review in this decision that was announced. You can't do nothing to stand still in the system. The man want to take us back to the dark ages, take our beautiful country, America, our country, back to the dark ages. Folks, you know, I got a vested interest. I don't know if I ever told you this. I have my middle son was born in Washington, right? So they might call us what do you call it? Birthright citizenship, whatever it is. So I got a vested interest in our country. Very, very vested interest. I'm watching this thing here now. Colin and Marlene and Willina, Anita, Michael John, Janice. They said despite lifting the freeze, Press Secretary Caroline, Leavitt, stated that President Trump's executive order targeting foreign aid, clean energy, migrant assistance, and diversity initiatives will proceed. But y'all go brave. We're going to see many more of this. We heard that Republicans in Capitol Hill were livid. You know, livid, you could manage it. When it's livid, you got some room to mambo. But when livid, gone from there. So we're watching it. I want to say good night to the folks from South Carolina who are visiting with us. Good night to you folks. I am the Jackson on the live. Jilly G. Rajin. Or it's Navin. Na. I know thing, you know. But the thing I walk, I got fall back. I'll try with them. Look at us we following for ice. You know? I never see people hate ice like this. I got me fridge good. Ice. Ice in your skin. People hate ice. You know? You there somewhere in Queens, Brooklyn, don't say ice. Don't say 40. Don't say 40. The amount of stories you're seeing. I see ice carting off Dora. I see ice carting off a man, big in the back of his shirt. Latinos for Trump. You know? I see another man, PPI for Trump. Y'all try. Guyanese is a teachable moment. You all be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. All right. Be careful. I can see some of y'all soon. When you buy Samrock Market and y'all see passing, y'all say hello, even with all the accents and so on. Please say hello. Ice. Ice. You know, ice. My God. Ice becoming legend now. One of the things we saw is that the Andrew, what is it about Guantanamo? Them boys reopening Guantanamo now. They said as many as 30,000 immigrants can be housed at Guantanamo. My colleague Maureen Philadelphia just walked in, looking like a whole meal here, but that's another story. Maureen recently tied in that, yeah? They kill cow, they kill goat. Big story of the East Coast. You know, rent out three flats to the Marriott. I don't know if Hickens helped with the fundraising, but congrats to Hickens and the stakeholders. I love the help raise fund. The wedding planner, Hickens. God, I cantankerous. Sometimes I can't take my own self. I cantankerous. I mean cantankerous. I cantankerous. Sometimes I can't even handle my own self. So, folks, I saw I got a glass. We toast the ice. It is what it is. We just take it as it is. So, the opening Guantanamo now. You got problems with housing in the Queens and New York and Brooklyn, sir. Guantanamo, free housing. You don't even got bother. You don't even got bad out. Just tell them your country don't want you back. You bad like yours. They don't want you back. Guantanamo take one. Guantanamo take one. I know after this election, I make the wrong choice. Hey, all right. Guantanamo, I got to take a couple. So that's one of the things happening, folks. And as we're on international affairs, look at this. They're telling us that food security, right? Food insecurity in Latin America, right, is worsening. Climate change is worsening food insecurity in Latin America, despite there's a decline in hunger. So things not getting better. Things are getting worse. They're telling us that climate vulnerability and extreme weather events are worsening food insecurity and malnutrition in Latin America and the Caribbean. Where did we hear that before? Malnutrition and the increase. Ashley told us that in this very 2025 budget, biggest budget ever, and children are more malnourished than 5 years ago. As a matter of fact, malnutrition has doubled. Malnutrition has doubled. You know, I see the honorable member Hamilton. My family got a phrase. I don't know if it's universal. It's something thin like rake. You think a little breeze of Hamilton had gone scattering like leaves, dry leaves too. Malnutrition, despite a decline in hunger. Folks, poverty is a terrible thing, you know. I try on poverty. I try on old age. I like none of the two. I like none of the two. I don't like poverty. I don't like old age. You look. You ever support Jilly G? You ever support my brother from another mother? I try to look like him. When Troy Jordan just stepped in, MP when Troy Jordan. You ever support? You put water in there to stretch it? You ever support 5 years in the house? The house is small. You got to sleep in shifts. You got schedule. Andrew, you can take the first shift. Ventura, you can take the second shift. Right? But if you could sleep standing up, good for you. You ever support? The house is small. You got to come outside for touring. Right? You come outside the touring, you go back inside. That's not even poor. You can't afford the OR, the end of the way. You're poor. You come outside the touring, you go back inside. Children are more malnourished. It has doubled locally in the last 5 years. But some of y'all are still going down. See if I got hungry and dead for the PPP, there's it. Good on, brave. I'm here with you. The band will play on. Good on, brave. Malnourished. This one was startling to me. This story here. It hurt me a little bit because I'm wondering when are the young people going to be given a chance to? Young children caught breaking into a car in Georgetown. 2 young children caught in surveillance footage. Section K, Camberville, Saturday, stealing a bag of cigarettes. Fastest growing economy, biggest budget ever. High income country. All that's on paper, you know. All damn paper. Our kids are starving. And people just popping Ozempics up. Whap, whap, whap. They want instant malnutritious looks. Kids are starving. I heard it's 200,000 for a dose of Ozempic to look slim and so on. And kids got breaking in vehicles. Breaking in vehicles. I haven't forgotten that story with a young man. The policeman saw walking along Diamond Main Road there for miles. The man stopping off him some food and find out where he was going and so on. He left begging somewhere till by Jimbo Bridge up by Grove there. He walking down till Little Diamond. Y'all think things easy in this country? These guys living in a bubble, kids breaking into a vehicle. Where did they learn that? Somebody gave them the tools and said, you better go bring in some bread in this house, as you can hungry tomorrow morning. I took so many things for granted as a child. I still thank my parents, and when I count my blessings, I count them twice. You go to bed and you wake up and you see food, and you even know how it meet. You even know how it meet. Right? You drop to sleep in front of the television, you wake up in bed and you say, it's over, it's this here now. You know, and you thought somehow you come up so rough. You didn't know was the Lord carrying you. When you didn't see footprints in the sand, little children, oh, look what we've become. In the land of plenty. We're belly full, but we're hungry. You know, this one really touched me. But let me hasten that because you know the power shortage we're dealing with. Look, story, you know. Right? Maureen would tell you, the lady want you to go about your business, the man. Go about your business. They said this woman suffered at the hands of her paramour for years. A couple of months ago, she made a break for it. Mother of 7. Fazila Ali was 33. And a mother of 7 brutally murdered today by her former paramour. Right? At a residence in Annandale. Months after the report says she escaped. Months after she escaped an abusive 7-year relationship. Jesus have mercy. Right? Jesus have mercy. Months after she escaped that relationship, she was murdered. Right? They said despite the fellow's repeated pleas for reconciliation, she refused to return. We gotta attack this scourge in our nation. This is one of the maladies, pandemics, epidemics, whatever you want to call it, we suffer from. Physical abuse, right? Violence against women and girls. We talk about it often. Yet another statistic. All thoughts and prayers to this mother of 7, Fazila Ali, brutally murdered in Annandale today. Our thoughts and prayers with her, of her family. You know, our thoughts and prayers with them. Father of His mercies, thoughts and prayers with them. Let's tackle some other things as we wrap up. Look, you all register for the card, go and pick it up. If you don't have your ID card, folks, don't make joke. I think you could still use your passport, but collect your ID card. GCOM is saying people who are registered, come for your cards. I mean, like, we ain't serious about this thing here. We ain't serious about this thing. I'm tempted to say, people, y'all don't go, but my civic duty is to say, everybody go and collect your cards. Right? Go and collect your cards. GCOM is urging members of the public, you completed your registration transaction, including new registrants, corrections and replacements of ID requests, as far back as 2008. Collect your national ID cards. You go and register, collect your cards. It is your own. Peter Noble, Pinky, Ingrid, Lester, Michelle, Margaret, Joy. Collect your cards, folks. Please and thank you. Do us the biggest favor. You're on the live. Smash that emoji button for us tonight. Share the live as well. So that I doing this as a public service, you know. There's not ad for there's not an ad for GCOM, for Claudia Swing. Collect your cards. Collect your cards. In the background, if you're hearing that, that is the Minister of Social Services, Vindhya. Dangerous woman. Dangerous. The people at the ministry there, now that I'm hearing her voice, they send me a book. It's not a letter, it's a book. You just got to put a cover on it, back and front, and you can publish it. If you see the atrocities of this ministry here, if you see the atrocities, every day I say I can deal with this thing on the program, I don't get a 2-hour program. It's problems at Central, problems in Region 3, friends, family, and favorites. Right? Everybody from the Durham Shala or the Durham, whatever the organization's name, is there. Right? Friends, family, and favorites. Right? I saw the report. I hope my friend Natasha St. Louis touched on it. A particular program of the East Coast, WIN, WIIN program. Oh, Father, the Auditor General's office dismantled that program. We're really wasting time in this government here. Collect your ID cards. I hasten on, folks. I come back to where we started. I've come back to where we have started. It is budget 2025, and we're here in the National Assembly. I'm on the sidelines doing the program and showing you all got valid and credible information. And we are interrogating budget 2025. That's why we're here. Right? We are going to agree with them on a couple of things, you know. In this budget, you got a $9 billion for $9 billion, Natasha, for cost of living, right? We can agree with that for the people get it. The 30 billion for the cash grant and so on. We're going to agree on a couple of things, right? You say, Kwame, got a face on your mother could. We agree. We'll agree on a couple of things in this budget here. It's the biggest budget ever. Agreed. Let me go down the road. Don't be fighting now. Biggest. Right? Biggest. But some other things, we agree to disagree. We want to disagree agreeably, but you all see the yard foul today? And it's called a minister of local government. If you see how she fluctuate. I see, well, look story here now. Look story here now, folks. Look story here now. As I said, some of my colleagues have been presenting today. Chairman of the Alliance for Change, Mr. David Patterson was one of those persons presented today. And he told us some of the history behind the Milo Falls. You know, they always tell us, oh, y'all in one progress. Y'all shut down the project. The project was doomed from the beginning. The project was doomed from the beginning. Here is some of what Mr. Patterson said today in the National Assembly. Take a listen.
Former Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson was very critical of Budget 2025.
It is a budget designed to serve the interests of the powerful and not the needs of the people. Today, I will address the glaring shortcomings in the oil and gas sector, the missed opportunities in public infrastructure, and the troubling patterns of governance that plagues this administration.
He addressed the issues surrounding Amila Falls. This was a project that was scrapped. The government is talking about resuscitating it. Minister Ashni Singh, in his budget presentation, touted the project as one that would have mitigated the electricity woes in Guyana. Patterson said that from the start of the sitting, the opposition has been challenging the government to bring a motion on Amila Falls. He said that the coalition saved the nation from a disaster.
The PPP has always informed the country that IDB was supportive of this project. But as always, as I've always said, the devil has been in the details. The opposition during 2011 to 2015 in Parliament, particularly the Alliance for Change component, indicated to the people of Guyana that we will reserve our approval until IDB completed their due diligence. What the Minister of Finance has never informed this House that the due diligence was completed, nor has he ever reported the results of this due diligence process.
The IDB due diligence was presented to the board in March 2014.
The board was informed that relevant experts had done extensive work on the Milo Ford project. The report listed several meetings, sir, at least 12 high-level meetings and reports, commencing in March 2010 for a period of 4 years. and was concluded in January 2014. So in fairness to the bank, they did their best to make this project viable.
Patterson said that the best experts can't make a rotten apple good. The IDB in its 66 years never approved a project with such a high degree of failure.
The IDB gave this project the lowest, second lowest possible ranking on their scale. So you could only use your imagination, sir, what type of project would get a ranking lower than this, sir. Second lowest ranking on their scale.
For 10 years, the IDB had identified the project as a non-starter. Patterson said that when David Granger assumed office, the IDB begged him not to touch the project. And the cost of the Gas Show project far exceeds what President Irfaan Ali had announced to the nation.
The offshore pipeline would have cost $570 million. The onshore pipeline would have cost $80 million. The NGL and gas plant would have cost $120. Infrastructure would have been $40 million US. So totaling $180 million.
The project should have been completed by October last year. The current status of the project is staggering.
As we stand, the pipeline costs $1 billion. 55% more, sir. The plant, the power plant, sir, 117% higher. The infrastructure cost, sir, is 157% higher. Sir, and that excludes the two new claims, sir. The entire project has been pushed back to the end of 2025. So the entire project cost, according to the government record, sir, has risen to $2.4 billion US.
This is an increase of almost 200%.
All right, welcome back, folks. So that's some of what David Patterson said there. Welcome back, and I want to share with you some of what my other colleagues would have said today on the floor of the National Assembly. Yesterday, we had a brother from another mother all the way from Region 10. He's the MP that represents Region 10. The one only German Figuera, and then we had Nima Flu Best as well, who spoke. And folks, don't go no place and hear what you want to hear some of the things and the other things Ganesh said today as well. But first, here is some of what MP German Figuera said during his presentation. Some what he said. Take a look.
Parliament German Figuera has highlighted the benefits of free education as reflected by the Minister with responsibility for finance, Ajit Singh.
It is no secret that I do have an appreciation for the Honorable Minister of Finance, for his eloquence, swift wit, and wordplay in presenting, which is indicative and a true testament to the good quality of free education delivery he received under the People's National Congress administration.
He said that the quality of education today is a far cry from what existed back then.
That the Honorable Minister's sharp oratory skills cannot mask the undeniable fact that the priorities in this budget needs readjusting to achieve a secure, prosperous, and sustainable Guyana.
He said that there are no bold measures for the restructuring of the social services.
The one-off 100,000 cash grant for pregnant women, which is being touted as a grand gesture, is nothing more than a political maneuver. This policy, Mr. Speaker, fails to address the root causes of the real challenges facing women and families in Guyana, such as access to quality health care, nutrition, and comprehensive maternal support.
The focus continues to be on physical infrastructure, he said. The primary and fundamental needs of citizens are left unaddressed. New roads won't help families who can't afford basic necessities, he added. Figuera also pointed to the deplorable state of sports and youth development in Guyana.
The Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport has received significant funding, approximately $22 billion from 2020 to 2025, with a notable $4.662 billion allocated for ground enhancement. Yes, Mr. Speaker, As of January, this very month, 2025, there are no community there's not a single community in Linden, Mr. Speaker, with a playable football field.
He highlighted the fact that Linden is the bastion of athletic prowess in Guyana.
This reflects the government's failure to follow through on its promises and to prioritize youth development in a meaningful way. The government's efforts to engage youth through youth employment and skills training program have been insufficient at best, with only 350 youths trained in 2024. This is an abysmally low number given the size of the youth population.
There are other projects that appear to be ignored by the government. The long-delayed stadium is just one.
The completion of the Wismar-Mackenzie 4-lane bridge, a concept of the coalition government, is another critical project for Region 10, and we welcome it. Mr. Speaker, given the increased traffic, including the anticipated flow from Linden to Lethem corridor, the government must act now rather than later in eliminating tolls for this bridge, which will facilitate and the enhancement of trade and commerce. And moreover, Mr. Speaker, provide greater ease to the commuters, especially the transportation providers.
All right, folks, that is Nima. Well, that was our brother German Figuera, rather, telling us there what's happening in Linden, folks. What's happening in Region 10. And as I said, my sister Nima Flubes also was on the floor of the National Assembly. Here is some of what Nima told us.
Parliament Nima Flubes in her budget presentation questioned the move by the government to make unequal things equal. She commented on the increase in old age pension.
How do we justify a paltry 5,000 increase for our pensioners? A mere $167 per day. Mr. Speaker, barely enough for a pack of mint. Is it not an insult to those who have labored for this nation?
There was also a $3,000 increase in public assistance. She said that the allocations reek of disregard for the vulnerable. Then there has been the announcement of a minimum wage of $130,000 per month.
If you're getting $130,000, if you're renting, you probably pay $45,000. My colleague said to me at work, that's cheap. Transportation might be $15,000. If you have a child coming all the way from East Coast, the child's transportation to Georgetown will cover $8,000. GPL might collect a $10,000. Water bill, $3,000. You might pay internet, because you know we're in the age of technology, a $6,000. Your cooking gas is going to be a $5,000. You left with a little $6,000 to feed your family.
There has been the adjustment of the income tax threshold. Ms. Flubes said that the government doesn't control the prices in the marketplace.
Distribution of cash grants, marvelous. But what system of confusion will be in place? Guyanese people don't know. Mr. Speaker, the promises of free travel on the new Demara Harbor Bridge and 50% electricity reduction hinges upon completion timelines that remain as malleable as the government's integrity.
She said the removal of the value-added tax on generators is to benefit the affluent. The poor people can't afford generators.
Can you imagine the learners lost and the children are here? And the distress of our youths in this technological age with blackout. You got to do your assignment, you got to charge your gadgets, and then in the middle of it, blackout. The children, the young people of this nation can speak to that distress.
All right, MP Nima Flubes for us there, taking us through the paces. I did promise you that we'll come back to some of what MP Ganesh Mahi Paul said in the National Assembly today. And you know, this is one of the portions of Ganesh's presentation that I really like, is him wailing into the PPP on lots of their unfulfilled promises. You know, these are folks who love to say that they have accomplished their manifesto. Ganesh say which side? What manifesto promises you all have accomplished already? Tabitha Haley just stepped in and watching me like I was an alien. Ready to fight them, you know. Ganesh Mahipal. Ganesh Mahipal. He says, no. Hold on. Ganesh said, bring it back a little bit. Bring it back a little bit. Manifesto problems accomplished. When did that happen? And Ganesh started wailing into them. Right? And I was there, ready to back him up. Maureen was there backing him up, and Jai Prashad and Tabitha backing him up. And that is how that's how the installed minister of local government get kerfuffle, you know. Right? It destroyed her bowling. She had no comeback for that. And spent 25 minutes of her presentation, the entire presentation, talking with all kinds of madness. Folks, take a listen to what Ganesh said. The unfulfilled manifesto promises of the PPP.
Mr. Speaker, several promises were made by this regime to the people of Guyana, and they have not begun to see the light of day. Let me list a few for you, sir. 1. On page 49 of their manifesto, pass campaign financial legislation. Where is the campaign financial legislation, Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs? Where is it? Ensure that the procurement laws are rigidly upheld. Do we see procurement laws rigidly upheld in this country, Comrade Speaker? Ensure non-interference by the executive in the work of the constitutional bodies. I wish we can agree with that. Create a non-partisan national youth corps. Where is the non-partisan national youth corps, Honorable Suresh Singh? Sir, provide a special fund for the upgrade of sports and cultural facilities. Where is that special fund? Ensure that each region has a premium multi-purpose sporting facility that could be used for multiple events. Where is it? Where is it, Comrade Speaker? Support trade unions in training and development of workers. Where is the communication with trade unions and the government? On page 22, sir, for oil and gas, establish a regulatory framework which is independent of politicians. The PPPC said to us in their manifesto, which they claim the people voted for them and that they have delivered everything. They said on page 22 that they will establish a regulatory framework which is independent of politicians. What are you doing in here, Honorable Vikram? You are not a politician. Leave. That is what they're telling us here in their document. Engage in renegotiating the oil contract. Where is that? Where is the process for renegotiation? You said it in your manifesto. Training of thousands of Guyanese at every level to create a national corps of managers and workforce to chart the future direction and effective management of the oil sector. Where are they, Mr. Speaker?
There you have it, folks. Our colleague, Ganesh Mahipal, on his feet doing his thing. Ganesh is a boss. That's what I'm telling you. Ganesh is a boss. That was him talking about the unfulfilled promises of the PPP. Now, this other excerpt here, if y'all don't share the live on this bit of excerpt, I follow with all of y'all. I followed with each and every one. They done this program tonight. Because here is Ganesh talking about how the 5:30 meeting didn't work out. As a matter of fact, I think he said the 5:30 meeting by Irfan Ali backfire. Right? You ever hear Sparrow say, Obi, wedding bells don't chime? That was his 5:30 meeting here. Ineffectual. Sham government. Sham government. Folks, the closer. I know we're just at 9 o'clock. The closer sham government. Mahi Paul. Take a look, folks. Take a listen.
Unlike this government, we will not call for early in the morning 5:30 meetings to stage a performance on accountability, only to let matters languish months after. We refuse to paint a Shakespearean display of concern for accountability while nothing tangible is ever done. It has been years now since the Metamere-Zorg, Charity, Podroin, Bellevue, and Blackbush Polder pump stations, accounting to billions of dollars, where millions upon millions were paid to contractors and several other critical infrastructure, but remain incomplete. And in many cases, at the sites, there is no work. But do we see anyone, more precisely Honorable Zulfikar Mustafa, being held accountable? The 5:30 meeting was a sham, Mr. Speaker. We see every day how SUVs continue to break the law by having blue and red flashing lights with sirens on the road, disrupting the smooth flow of traffic, among so many other issues in the Guyana police force, with the Brutus scandal taking front stage. But has anyone been held accountable? More specifically, Honorable Robertson Ben. The 5:30 meeting was a sham, Mr. Speaker. Look at the matriculation rate in our school system. It was at 49% in 2020 when the APNU AFC left office. Today, with billions more and monies invested in the sector, Honorable Priya Manikchan has it at 26%. Was she or is she being held accountable? The 5:30 meeting was a sham, Mr. Speaker. A doctor from the Timeri Health Center had to appear on camera and tell this nation that in 2025 there is no Panadol at a health center. Inhumane working conditions. Was Honorable Dr. Frank Anthony held responsible? The 5:30 meeting was a sham, Mr. Speaker. There is a $15 billion office complex where over $7 billion is already spent, but still no one can locate where the structure is. I know Honorable Annette Ferguson is looking all over and can't find it. Roads are being constructed poorly, no consideration for sidewalks. Hundreds of millions of dollars were spent on a third-hand boat that continues to burden this nation with huge maintenance costs and constantly must be moored for maintenance. Several contracts awarded via hand-picking contractors. But do you see Honorable Ejil or Indar being held accountable? The 5:30 meeting was a sham, Mr. Speaker. We see the abuse of the procurement system, where several contractors are awarded contracts and they have not been evaluated as the lowest and most responsive bidder. Several engineers have complained about being instructed to use the three-coat system by way of calling in 3 or at most 5 contractors and let the 5 of them bid for the projects, with the guarantee that the 5 projects will be shared among them. Mr. Speaker, is that what the procurement law was intended to do? Certainly not. But do you see Honorable Ashni Singh or the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board Chairman being held accountable? That 5:30 meeting was a sham, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Todd got very upset when Sherrod Duncan, honorable member, spoke about the Venezuela issue. But he, as Minister of Foreign Affairs, is not calling a meeting of the Foreign Relations Committee. Guyanese want guidance and leadership on this matter. But Mr. Todd, honorable member, is silent and wants us to shut up. We, as a unit, agreed to several actions, which included regular meetings for updates and to maintain a together approach on this matter. It is not happening. Do you see Honorable Todd being held accountable? That 5:30 meeting was a sham, Mr. Speaker. We read in the press that the Attorney General was going to appeal a decision which awarded only $24 million to the family of the late Quindon Bacchus. We remember the infamous Vice News recording with Sue. Who Sue? Sue? Who Sue? Mr. Speaker, that 5:30 meeting was a sham. I cannot leave out the mendacity of the Ministry of Housing and Water. Sir, we have complaints from over 15,000 people not knowing where their lands are. They paid in full, but still don't know. Did the ministry really give out 40,000 plus house lots? No, they did not. Sir, I believe Honorable Gail Teixeira is tired fighting with her colleagues for them to just do the right thing. And I believe she has been fighting with them all her life just to get them to be honest, decent, and transparent. Sadly, she is getting nowhere with that. She may very well be retired from politics, and there still will not be honest, decent, and transparent.
Gail Teixeira is a sham too. Gail is a sham. Ashley is a sham. Jagdio is a sham. He's a shambolics. You got Kwame. He's baby sham. A set of shams. You got grandfather sham. The PM is a pack of shams. PPP is sham. I told you, Ganesh had a masterpiece of a parliamentary presentation for budget 2025. You know, a masterpiece. They couldn't come back from it. And that's why Flighty Sonia all over the place, you know, like a wild fowl, like a big black chicken, right? All over the place. How you come back from that? You know, it's like when Courtney Ambrose dismantled the bowling, take all the wickets. How she come back now? She's scattered all over the place. She got to take stelazine and try to come back. She can go by Loba and so on. I did promise you fireworks. I love it. I love it. Father of mercy. I love it. I want to get another half hour, another 35 minutes. Close them off. By the time tomorrow, government resign. Government falls. He brought it. He brought it. And you know, the sham Irfan go down there and say, oh, AI write a speech. Well, if AI write a speech, I want to recommend Sonia to AI. I want to recommend Sonia to AI. That's our time, folks. And that's our program. Folks, I want to prevail on y'all. Before y'all go, I want to prevail on y'all to help us out. Y'all know we don't come crying often. To help us out, share the live before you go. We want other people to get the valid and credible information. Please and thank you. To know and understand, PPP is a sham. PPP is a sham. Partner with us as well, folks. That's going to do it for us at this end. That's our time, good folks. And that's our program tonight. Again, we're going to be in this informal setting right up until the end of this week, right into next week. Because on Friday, we start the interrogation of the estimates, the expenditures and estimates, right up until next week. So we're going to be informal like this for the morning programs where we can't help it, and definitely for the evening programs. So until we see you guys again, watch out for the shams. Watch out for them. They're coming. When you see them, say, y'all shambolics. Good night, folks. That's our time tonight, and that's our program. Stay safe. Partner with us. Share the live. Smash that emoji button. Let's do this. Stay safe. I'm gone.